To open tonight's virtual ceremony, I would like to introduce Kathleen Corey, the president of Women of Peace Corps Legacy. Corey.
All right, thank you so much, Katie. And good evening, everyone. It's just such a joy to see so many people here to honor our two very special people. We want to thank you to everyone who has promoted this event and just say that it's something we've been waiting for a long time. As Katie mentioned, my name is Kathleen Corey, and as the president of the Women of Peace Corps Legacy, it's a pleasure to welcome you to this inaugural awards ceremony for the Kate Raftery Emerging Leader Award to recognize Jessica Alcantara. I'd like to share a story with you about how we've actually come to be here together tonight. Several years ago, it's been a while now, a small group of women were describing how their Peace Corps experience had affected both their personal and their professional lives, and how grateful they were to have a chance to come together and know each other around the topic of women's empowerment. They talked about how the Peace Corps of the 60s and the 70s had created a path for women to get the kind of experience needed to move into diplomacy or international development and the global industry. And how the leadership experience they gained in Peace Corps created the confidence in women to both create and run nonprofit organizations that would mobilize and help women throughout the world. They were inspired, motivated, pumped up, and ready to, as I said, mobilize as many people as they could in the support of women and girls' empowerment around the world. And then Women of Peace Corps Legacy was born. At that time, they decided that they wanted to recognize the extraordinary contributions of returned Peace Corps volunteer women far beyond their Peace Corps experience. So to that end, they created a Lifetime Achievement Award that is named after Deborah Harding, who, among other things, created the language in the Peace Corps Act to ensure that Peace Corps programming addressed the issues of women and girls. She was the one who promoted it strongly through the agency, and Women in Development became one of Peace Corps' most successful programs. Since that time, Women of Peace Corps Legacy has honored 5 recipients, and we will have another one at Peace Corps Connect, inshallah, this summer. Debbie, I'm delighted to say, is with us tonight. And so I would like to invite her to come on and just say a few words about what this award has meant to her. Debbie, if you can unmute and please come on, we would certainly love to see and hear from you.
Is that on mute? Can you hear me?
Yep, you're perfect.
Okay, thank you, Corey, for those kind words. Hi, everybody. It's really a joy to know that Peace Corps women are being recognized and honored by these 2 terrific awards. And thanks to the Women in Peace Corps Legacy for the commitment to that end, and thereby assuring women's rightful place in the history of the Peace Corps, and quite frankly, in the overall society. So I just want to say congratulations to Kate Raftery for her many contributions. It's very nice to be here with all of you tonight, and especially to honor her. Thank you.
Debbie, thank you for that so much. We're so lucky that Debbie stays very involved with us and comes to Peace Corps Connect, oftentimes to give the award herself, which is quite special to all of us. Okay, so about 2 years ago, Women of Peace Corps Legacy reached out to include younger women in our ranks. And after a number of really successful events in the Washington, D.C. area, these women found shared interests and support in this intergeneral conversations that were so productive. Each of us found that we had so much to learn from one another. And so out of these events, Women of Peace Corps Legacy has done a lot with supporting training, and mentoring younger Women of Peace Corps Legacy members. And it's become an important cornerstone for what we are doing and reaching out to do these days. So to recognize this and to support younger women in the workplace, we decided it was important to recognize a woman under the age of 35 who was already demonstrating considerable leadership. And that is why we are come together today to present this, what we will call prestigious award, to Jessica. We have named the award after our dear friend and very active board member, Kate Raftery. And you're going to hear more about Kate in just a minute, but we felt that there was no one more appropriate to have this award named after than Kate, a 4-time Peace Corps director. That's got to be one of the most often positions that we have, who has shown just great interest in helping younger RPCVs, both when they come home and beyond. So we do want to invite you to nominate women for both the Deborah Harding Award and the Kate Raftery Emerging Leader Awards. Both nomination procedures are on our website, and we hope after this event tonight that you will find more interest in nominating people. And we also invite you to donate to the Kate Raftery Emerging Leader Award, which is also on our website, so that we can continue to recognize the deserving young women that we know. And we want to thank the many of you who have generously given money to this award so that it can keep on being the gift that keeps giving. So look for us on the web, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. This represents how the younger members have helped us to become more noticeable, to follow all of the exciting Women of Peace Corps Legacy activities that we're offering. So thank you so much for being here. Delighted that there's such a crowd. And I turn it back now to you, Katie.
Thank you, Corey. And now I have the very big task of introducing and trying to summarize the many achievements of Kate Raftery within my limited time allotment. Kate Raftery has spent decades with the Peace Corps, from her Peace Corps service in Paraguay to supporting Peace Corps headquarters in the IAP region and the Office of Programming and Training Support, and leading the Sexual Assault Response and Risk Reduction Program, to serving as country director in Honduras, Peru, the Eastern Caribbean, and most recently in Paraguay. I know I probably missed a few of those positions, but it's really hard to list everything that Kate has done at the Peace Corps. Looking at her resume, I don't think there was an office that hasn't been touched by her in some capacity. In addition to the many positions Kate has held at the Peace Corps, she's also managed to find time to work at other places, including the Corporation for National and Community Service, recently renamed AmeriCorps, where she led the National Civilian Community Corps, the International Youth Foundation, the Partners of the Americas, and the National Park Foundation. As impressive as Kate's resume is, we all know she is so much more than the list of positions she has had. You will notice common themes in her robust career: service, leadership, youth development, and mentorship. Anyone who has had the pleasure to know and or work with Kate can identify these themes and others as the reasons they admire, and in my case, want to be like Kate. I do not remember exactly when I met Kate, but we ended up sharing a rather thin wall between our offices. I always enjoyed hearing her loud conversations in Spanish, and she says she enjoyed the loud conversations that Krista and I were having next door. But there was something that I noticed in the few years that we shared that wall. There were lots of visitors. Sure, some of them were for official meetings or to ask about deadlines, quick questions, reports. But many were colleagues seeking help or advice, and Kate always had an open door. I heard her dole out advice, sometimes providing the feedback they needed rather than wanted. She provided connections, resources, and a helpful ear. I myself turned to Kate many, many times when I left the Peace Corps and worked with the National Commission on Military, National, and Public Service. We called on Kate's decades of experience with national service as we crafted recommendations, but also her leadership, her training capabilities, and her mentorship as our team dealt with many transitions. I have also been lucky to work with Kate on the advisory committee of the Women of Peace Corps Legacy, an organization she helped create to honor and promote the many women that have served as Peace Corps volunteers or staff. Kate has been a go-to resource, guide, and friend for so many of us. So when it came time to name our new Emerging Leader Award, we knew it had to be named after Kate Raftery, who has spent her life developing and mentoring emerging leaders. And just because you retired this year doesn't mean you can start slacking now, Kate. We know you have more to teach us, and we have a lot more to learn. It is my honor to introduce Kate Raftery.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Corey. And it's great to have you here with us, Deborah. Just to be clear, the 35, as you know, the emerging leader is recognizing someone 35 years of age or younger. And I just want to make sure you all know that I'm not that part of the award. I'm 37, so I'm not in that one group. First of all, I want to say that it is an honor to be associated with this award, but also with the Women of Peace Corps Legacy. Its leadership, its members, it's an organization whose mission and vision I totally embrace. And the individuals that are involved, and many of them you see on these screens, have been an amazing source of inspiration and energy for me. When thinking about today's event, I revisited the definition of emerge. And emerge means to move out of the way of something and allow it to be coming into view, become more apparent, more important, more prominent. And it dawned on me that the emerging leaders that we have gotten to know through this award, they're not new leaders, they're not fledgling leaders, they're not inexperienced leaders. They are those who maybe just need to be given more space, more visibility, so that everything that they are currently doing can be seen and heard and recognized. In 2020, 26% of the world's population is under 15 years of age, and 9% is over 65. In the United States, it's a little bit different. It is 18% of the population is under 15, and 17% are over 65. The male-female population hovers at about 50% male and female. Yet the status, as Deborah mentioned earlier, the status of men and women in the world is far from equal. In 2019, the World Economic Forum predicted that it would take 108 years to close the gender gap in the areas where the largest discrepancies exist. That would be economic equity and political empowerment. Equity, the quality of being fair and impartial. This is not a I win, you lose proposition. More, it's a win-win one. You do a job, I do the same job, we get paid the same, and we progress the same. Only 6 countries in the world have reached equal legal work rights. And no, the United States is not one of that 6. On the political front, the United Nations surveyed 103 countries, and the percentage of women who have been elected to local deliberative bodies ranges from 1% to 50%. Even though those percentages have not increased significantly over the years, the realization and the recognition of the impact that women's leadership brings to the political arena has grown. The political and their political leadership of women has been seen to be more participatory, more collaborative. Women engaged thoughtfully on all issues, but in particular, staying vigilant to those issues which advance gender equity. My current hero and inspiration is Jacinda Ardern. Last week, she won her second term as Prime Minister of New Zealand. The headquarters this weekend that came out of New Zealand were, "We feel lucky she's ours." She is a leader who is often characterized as compassionate and effective. What a great combination for a national leader. Many of us were moved by the compassion she demonstrated to those impacted by the deadly white supremacist Christchurch attack in 2019, and awestruck by her decisive actions in dealing with the COVID pandemic, which has resulted in New Zealand, as of today, in only 1,914 cases and 25 deaths. Now, let me put that into perspective. The population of New Zealand is roughly equal to Los Angeles. But in Los Angeles, the cases have reached 288,000 cases and 6,876 deaths. She has incredible public and popular support, although there are still people who will say she's too compassionate and she's too inexperienced to lead the country aggressively into the future. I would say she's not doing so bad so far. But the main point I want to make here, and what inspires me, is she is 40 years old. She's almost eligible to be an emerging leader recipient, okay? And she was first elected to public office when she was 28 years old. There is no doubt that she was not emerging at 28. Others had moved out of her way, or she had gotten them out of her way, and she had gathered the support, the mentoring, the sponsorship she needed to be seen and heard, and off she went. Over my various years that was mentioned at Peace Corps or AmeriCorps or the International Youth Foundation, or just hanging around my amazing daughter and nieces and their friends, I have repeatedly been in awe of those with fewer years than I. Okay, in some cases, many fewer years than I, but they bring a clear and exciting vision of what this world could look like, must look like going forward. They bring these eye-popping creativity and innovation to the table, and they demand that they be at the table. It allows me, and I hope it allows all of you, to have confidence in where we are going as a society. The former British Prime Minister Benjamin Disraeli said, "Almost everything that is great has been done by youth." And when I hear that statement, I think about that, who would you invite to dinner scenario? How awesome it would be for me to sit with the Prime Minister Ardern, sit with Greta Thunberg, the 17-year-old environmental activist, to sit with Malala Yousafzai, the 23-year-old Nobel Peace winner and activist for girls' and women's rights, or Emma Gonzalez, the 20-year-old Parkland shooting survivor and handgun activist, and Alyssa Carson, who at the age of 18 is the world's youngest astronaut in training. Besides feeling, I'm sure, incredibly ancient, I would also feel incredibly humbled, proud, and energized. Emerging leaders, I think not. I think they're inspiring, impactful, and influential. Their youth does not hinder them, but rather energizes them, both their bodies and their minds. Their passion, their courage, and the actions that they take, I think, fill us with hope for the future. Let me close by going back to that statistic that I mentioned earlier, which is in the United States, the population is, 18% of the population is under 15 and 17% over 65. This says to me that intentional, thoughtful, frequent, intergenerational conversations are critical for our future. These are not old folks teaching young folks monologues. They are cross-fertilization opportunities. It is lessons learned meets dreams of a future reimagined. I believe this is an urgent call to action. I encourage each one of you to seek out conversations with those who are at different junctures, different transition points in their life journey, perhaps with different views, perhaps with different opinions, but with hopes for the future, because that future is a shared one. These transactions, or these transitions, I should say, will include young people grappling to define their career trajectory and life path in a world not yet equitable. It will include women juggling family, partners, career, and the need for self-care. And older women, a personally very important category, older women dealing with drastically changing societal identities as their roles as mothers, partners, and professionals change and their value questioned. Worldwide, women are often invisible because of their education, their socioeconomic status, societal definitions of beauty, or age. Women of Peace Corps Legacy is, and I personally am, committed to making women not only much more visible, but more connected, more supported, and more engaged. The Women of Peace Corps Legacy are organizing, facilitating, and moderating many of these intergenerational conversations that I mentioned earlier. Quite honestly, I want to grow up to be like Jacinda Ardern and Jessica Alcantara, and so many other women who are younger in years, but greater in wisdom. I am incredibly humbled by this award being given in my name. I thank the Women of Peace Corps Legacy for giving me the opportunity to be constantly inspired by the amazing women of all ages and backgrounds and life experiences, and for allowing me to join Jessica in this event and to recognize her as an amazing and inspirational leader. I'll go back to the beginning. Well, I won't go all the way back to the beginning because that would be really far away. But I look at this screen and I see people from my family, my hometown. I see people from my Peace Corps life and many other lives. And I want to thank Peace Corps for so profoundly influencing who I am as a woman, who I am as a global citizen, and who I am as a human being. And I thank all of you who are on this call who have also contributed, for good or for bad, for making me the individual that I am today, and so honored to be associated with this award. So I thank you, Katie, for giving me the opportunity to speak. Okay.
Thank you, Kate.
Yep.
Okay, now it is my honor to introduce the first awardee of our Kate Raftery Emerging Leader Award, Jessica Alcantara. Jessica grew up in the Washington Heights neighborhood of Manhattan, raised by parents that had immigrated from the Dominican Republic, primarily speaking Spanish until she began school. During her primary, secondary, and collegiate education, Jessica was a Prep for Prep student, scholarship recipient, and mentor. Prep for Prep, for those of you that don't know, was founded in 1978 to identify and support New York City's most promising students of color and prepare them for success at secondary schools throughout the Northeast and on to college. A graduate of Andover Academy, Jessica went on to attend Dartmouth College with the support of her prep community, where she graduated with honors. After graduation, Jessica joined the Peace Corps, where she served as a youth development volunteer in Zagatala, Azerbaijan, from 2009 to 2011. Jessica ran English conversation clubs, organized and led a week-long summer arts camp, and facilitated activities promoting self-esteem building, civic engagement, and involvement in the arts. One of Jessica's counterparts and mentors in Azerbaijan was a female attorney who worked for the city government of Zagatala. Jessica has credited her as one of the people who inspired her to consider law as a profession, specifically in the support of vulnerable populations. After Peace Corps, Jessica returned to New York City, where she began her graduate studies at Fordham University, earning a master's degree in Latin American and Latino studies. She then entered Columbia University School of Law because she hadn't gone to school long enough, where she earned a JD in 2016. During her studies at Columbia Law, it was the plight of students in poorly funded schools that claimed Jessica's attention. As part of the Human Rights Internship Program, she spent the summer after her first year in Grahamstown, South Africa, working on a case concerning the lack of furniture in rural schools. After graduation, she earned the prestigious Scotton Fellowship to work with the Advancement Project National Office, which is a national civil rights group with local campaigns that tackle educational inequity, partnering with the Journey for Justice Alliance to assist historically oppressed communities facing school closures. When her 2-year fellowship was complete, she joined their team as a staff attorney, and she continues to work with them today to increase Black and Latino students' access to quality, well-resourced neighborhood public schools. I had the privilege to serve in Azerbaijan in the same group as Jessica. Like Kate, I do not remember the first time Jessica and I met, but I can't think of some of the best memories of my service without Jessica being there. We bonded over books and TV shows, visited each other's sites, shared peanut butter, which in Peace Corps is how you really know that you're friends if you share your peanut butter. And we even took an epic 3-week trip through Turkey and Georgia together. I witnessed firsthand the impact Jessica had on the youth in her community, particularly the young women that she worked with, inspiring them to form their own views and opinions, to dream bigger, and helping to build the foundation for them to become leaders themselves. Since we completed our service, I've been so impressed with Jessica's determination to continue to make the world better, through completing both graduate degrees to now working to achieve educational equity while maintaining her friendships and relationships and keeping her really great sense of humor. I know she's going to do remarkable things in her career, and I feel so fortunate to be her friend and to watch firsthand. I am so honored now to present Jessica Alcantara with our first Kate Raftery Emerging Leader Award.
Can you hear me? We practiced that. Did you like that cool little handoff there? Great handoff. Thank you so much. Wow, it's really weird to hear the things you've done said back at you. Weird moment. First, let me say thank you to the Women of Peace Corps Legacy and to the namesake of the award, Kate Raftery. Thank you so much. I'm honored, thrilled, humbled to be the inaugural recipient. Thank you as well to everyone involved in the planning of this event. I know it's difficult to put things on in these crazy times, so thank you. I'm so happy to see so many people on here. I'm not gonna lie, it feels weird for me to be here accepting this award. I feel like I'm usually on the other side, like I'm usually the fangirl, you know, someone else that I look up to and admire. So it's definitely thrown me for a bit of a loop that I could be the one in that position now. It's weird. Whenever I look back at how I got to where I am, or when I tell people about myself or my background, it always sounds like, you know, the way Katie was talking about me, it sounds like I built this path, like I had this predetermined path, like one experience naturally led to another. Having lived it, that's absolutely not my experience. That's not how it felt going through things. And it's not so much that I've been following a certain path all my life. I mean, I didn't grow up wanting to be a lawyer at all. That was a decision I made while I was a PCV in Azerbaijan. You heard Katie say, mention Ibanez Hanım, who is my site mate Luki's on the call, so that's who Katie was referring to. But it's more like I've continued, stepping forward, just kept kind of jumping into new experiences and environments, right? And on a day like today, when I'm receiving an award like this, it's been an opportunity to kind of turn my head back and see that I guess I have been leaving a trail behind me. Who knew? Like Katie said, I'm a civil rights attorney. I work at a national racial justice nonprofit based here in DC. We do our work through what's called a community lawyering or movement lawyering approach. I don't do direct services in the way that many lawyers have clients, that they work for. Instead, I work with grassroots groups across the country and use the wide range of tools in my lawyering toolbox to help bring about the change that they want to see. I work across 2 issue areas. Katie mentioned the education. I also work in immigration. But most of my time, especially now in the past maybe 2 years, has been spent in the education space working to dismantle the school to prison pipeline. And I've been fortunate in that work to be able to travel to different cities and actually meet and break bread with organizers devoted to making change in their communities. I feel like I've done a lot of IRBing. Is that the acronym that we used to use and that we were trained in? Did a lot of IRBing with my, the organizers that I work with now. I mostly work with other women of color at my organization, and as well with the groups that I work with, they're mostly made up of women of color. And I sought out an organization like Advancement Project precisely because they value and put communities at the center of the work, right? That's something that I really learned to appreciate from my time as a youth development volunteer in Azerbaijan. Like, it became clear during my time there that lasting sustainable change really only came about when people were actually invested in, cared about, were involved in crafting whatever solutions were going to be implemented. Like, the change wasn't going to come if they weren't actually invested in what was happening. I remember when I was applying to be a PCV and how adamant I was that I didn't want to be a TEFL. I didn't want to teach English because I didn't want to go to one of those countries and be the typical colonizer imposing English on people. Joke was on me though, because what I realized when I got to Azerbaijan was that my naive stance was very naive. And guess what I ended up doing a lot of in Azerbaijan? Spoiler alert, Katie already mentioned, teaching English, particularly through English conversation clubs. And why? Because that's what the community wanted from me. That was a skill I had that they were very eager to learn. And I would have been an idiot if I let, young Jessica get in the way of providing something people actually wanted. I know better now, thank goodness. But something that's been a common thread my whole life and through Peace Corps and my work now really is the importance of the role of women and girls. So I'm excited that this is something being recognized with the award today, yay. I don't know if it's because I grew up as the only girl, middle child with 2 brothers. If you're also a middle child of 2 brothers, then you probably understand what I'm talking about. But I've always been motivated and frustrated by things that I saw as unfair, right? When my older brother's bedtime was moved to 10 p.m., there was no way I was gonna go to sleep at 9 if he did not have to. When I was told that I had to do the dishes because I was the girl in the family, I absolutely rebelled. And to this day, I still hate doing the dishes, something that I'm sure my partner Sam really appreciates as he does dishes for the millionth time. I always thought of myself as, just as smart and just as capable as my siblings, if not smarter or more capable. There's just never been a time when I didn't believe that women could do whatever they wanted. Although I did learn quickly that it wasn't that we couldn't do things, it's that our society and institutions are set up with the assumption that we're not really equal participants, right? The default for so many things is a man. Medicinal research is based on white males. The law's reasonable person standard is based on a white male. And then you add race and ethnicity on top of that. Yeah. I mean, this country simply was not meant for me. It was not built for people like me. I think my success has come in spite of these things because I've been lucky to be supported by a whole line of mentors, colleagues, friends, my Azerbaijani dostlarım, so many women, a few men, I guess, in there. who I have followed, who I have relied on, who maybe were there to just hang out and listen to me make crazy decisions like taking a marshrutka to Georgia by myself for the first time to take the LSAT. When I work today on trying to end the criminalization of young Black and brown boys and girls and trying to ensure that they actually attend schools where they are safe and loved and cared for, I think of all of those people on my path who provided that comfort for me. So I just like to say thank you, yay, to all of them today. Thank you to the wonderful ladies who nominated me for the award. Thank you again to the Women of Peace Corps Legacy for this honor. And I can't wait to reach my hand back and help push forward the next set of emerging leaders.
Thank you, Jessica. Before we close, we've invited a few people to speak about tonight's winner, Jessica. Some she knows about, some she doesn't. First, I would like to introduce Megan Lysett and Sierra Posky, the RPCVs that nominated our winner this year. Megan and Sierra.
What are you doing on your phone?
Hi, everybody. My name is Megan, and then I'll hand it over to Sierra. We had the great fortune of serving alongside both Katie and our inaugural Krella Award winner, Jessica. It's been an inspiration to not only serve alongside Jessica, but to know her as a friend and a neighbor in Washington, D.C. She is someone I look up to as a peer who is constantly devoting her time and her efforts towards the betterment of our world. And I couldn't be happier that she was selected for this fantastic honor. And I'm sure Sierra will just echo the same things that I'm saying, but congratulations again, Jessica.
Thanks, Megan, and hi, everyone. It's been so great to hear not only about the inspiration of this award, but also to have a chance to honor and recognize our first awardee, Jessica Alcantara. I think what was so fun about this process was not only through the nomination process, I actually got to learn more about my friend. I had a slice of what she had done and was immediately thinking that she would be amazing for this award. And then sort of through learning about her from colleagues and from other Peace Corps volunteers who had served closely with her, it really just piled up and became even more clear. So I think it was like a very wonderful iterative process that backed up kind of that decision. And I'm just so excited for you. So congratulations, Jessica.
Thank you. Now I would like to introduce Meredith Dalton, who served as the country director of Azerbaijan during our time there. Meredith.
Thank you, Katie. And congratulations, Jessica. This is great. This is wonderful news. I'd like to open by stating that Kate Raftery has been a dear friend of mine well over a decade and a role model for longer than that. So it's especially great that this award is named in Kate's honor. It's a great pleasure to participate in the celebration of Jessica's accomplishments and demonstrated leadership. As you all know and you've heard today, Jessica served as a volunteer in Azerbaijan exactly a decade ago, serving as a youth development volunteer in Zaqatala, Azerbaijan. It's evident that during the past 10 years, she's continued to expand her own education and her work in supporting youth and education, particularly for those with limited or subpar access. What I recall from Jessica's service, and what I've heard consistently reinforced by her fellow volunteers over time, is her positivity and how much her fellow volunteers respected and admired her. She's smart and she's resolved and she's dedicated to serving others. The other word that comes to my mind is solid, which to me represents a supreme compliment. Many of you joining today have heard recent news coming out of Azerbaijan and Armenia since the very end of September about the escalating war over Nagorno-Karabakh, and the fighting has further spread with devastating results within the larger territories of those countries. Azerbaijan's Peace Corps program closed half a dozen years ago, but the RPCVs, like Katie, like Jessica, like Sierra, like Megan, continue to actively promote the third goal as they share their experiences in later chapters of their professional and personal lives. Today, we honor Jessica as the first recipient of this prestigious leadership award. I really only have one reservation with Jessica's Emerging Leadership Award, which is to say, why emerging? Jessica has emerged, and each of us here today has one more role model to emulate, admire, and acknowledge, irrespective of her age. Congratulations again, Jessica. Long may you inspire and thrive.
Thanks, Meredith. And finally, this event would not be complete without congratulations from some of the young women Jessica inspired. I would like to play videos from two of her students, Kanul and Zainab. The first video is a little quiet, so I recommend turning your volume up now.
I'm so happy that I have gotten to know you. You are not just a best friend, you are more than a friend. You are a sister to me. You are my budget. Once again, I would like to congratulate you on receiving the Emerging Leader Award from the Women of Peace Corps Legacy. I have got a feeling that this is the only beginning of your achievements. Congratulations. El Alik.
Hola Jessica, greetings from Azerbaijan. I heard that you're receiving an Emerging Leader Award from Peace Corps, which made me really happy. I know you worked very hard, you've done a great job, and you really deserve it. In the meantime, I would like to say thank you for everything you've done for us in Azerbaijan, especially in Zaqatala. You had a great impact on development of youth of our region, including me. Everything you organized, conversation clubs, dance clubs, camps, really helped to improve our social skills. And I'm so thankful for that, and I appreciate that. We really miss you here, and I wish you all the best. Good luck in the future, and hopefully to see you around someday. Bye-bye.
And I'll make sure to send those to you directly, Jessica, so you can watch over and over again. As Meredith mentioned, though, Azerbaijan has been at war for the past couple of weeks, so unfortunately the internet is a little spotty. Otherwise, Kanul was planning to be here in person, even though it's 9 hours ahead. She said, I don't need sleep if it's for Jessica. I would do anything for her. She's my sister. So with that, this concludes our event this evening. Thank you so much for everyone who supported this event, and thank you for joining us tonight. We hope to have additional events this year with our award recipient, Jessica. So please stay tuned to updates from us. And please visit our website, as Corey mentioned, for more information, and follow us on one of the social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or LinkedIn. And we hope you all have a wonderful evening, and wash your hands. Thank you. I'm always that person that can't say goodbye, so I'm just waiting for everyone else to leave and say goodbye.
I would have had Kleenex by me if I knew that you were going to turn the waterworks on.
Sorry. I mean, I started crying when I was talking about you, but I'll send you, Mike Rayborn also sent a video. I just thought it might be overkill. But I'll send you, Connell sent me like 5 different videos, so I'll send them to you. It's been an interesting trying to figure out what platform would work in Azerbaijan.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you so much.
Of course, I'll send them to you though.
I guess I should, do we just leave?
I guess, Corey, do you need anything?
I'll
You're on
unmute. Jessica, it's great to see you.
Yeah, same here.
You too, all of you, it's great. So, well
Corey,
done.
you're muted. Oh. Hi, Meredith. It's good to see you.
Yeah, I changed my appointment for tomorrow, so thanks for accommodating. So cheers.
No, thank you.
So guys, Meredith, thank you so much. Nice to meet you. I've heard your name a million times, so it's really great to meet you.
It's
Really.
great to see you.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
I think the Women of Peace Corps Legacy are having a party. So if we sign off now and come back, you better come back in something comfortable and a glass of wine in your hand. Right? Isn't that what we're planning?
I have to go walk my dog. She was trying to bark at me during that.
Oh, she did really well. Katie, you did really well too. And Jessica did too. It was
Jessica and Katie, thank you both. Jessica, how wonderful. How absolutely wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks to Katie.
So proud of
you.
No, thanks, Jessica. And hi, Sam. He's not on camera, but hi, Sam.
All right, guys. See you. Whoever would like to in a minute. Jessica, you're joining us, right?
Wait. Oh, that's really happening? I thought that was a joke.
No, we're having a happy hour.
Okay.
I think I saw something about it. I'm planning on it, but we'll go see. We'll go see. Katie, I mean, Annie, there's something, right? I think.
I believe Lee was on that, but I'll forward it to Jessica if she's not already on the train.
Make sure Jessica has it. We want her on there.
Thank you to everyone who spoke today. You guys did a wonderful job, and Jessica, it's an honor to have you here. So
it's an honor to be here.
Annie, thank you for your help, buddy. It was great.
Yeah, thanks, Annie.
Everybody, see you next time.
All right,
I'm
Bye,
gonna
guys.
close this down then.
Okay.
All right, everyone, have a great evening.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you, everyone.